Hello everyone, it's Eon here. It's time to kind of get back into this for a little bit. Apologies for being MIA for a little while. We were finishing out the school year. So anyway, we're getting into this. On the suggestion of Stroh's Lights, we're going to actually split this up into two videos, a science fiction or Grimdark and a fantasy video. If you like both, then watch both. If you like one or the other, you can watch one or the other, but we're going to get into this. And again, if you know of any Patreons, tribes, or any of that I am missing out on, please let me know. Not all of them are easy to find information on. I'm going to sort these alphabetically like I usually do, so we're going to start with Archvillain Games. Archvillain Games is doing Far Frontiers this month with Einherjar. Again, I don't speak German. Graphics a little low quality there, so let's get to some better quality pictures. So they have the Valkyr or Valkyr perhaps. I'm assuming that's close to the word Valkyrie. And we have the Slipnir. Now notice the Slipnir comes in two variants. You can also have a Gatlin variant as well if you so wish. Next up we have the Berserkir or Berserkers, and these guys are huge. It was really hard to fit them on the slide here, so we're gonna move on past these guys. Next up we have the Krieger. And notice they come in multiple varieties. This is 1, 2, and 6. And here are 3, 4, and 5 that we see here as well. Some with helmets, some without. And then we also have 7, 8, and 9. So some have very similar poses, some are a little bit different. And then we have 10 and 11 as well, which is crazy for Archvillain. They like to give you multiple sculpts, usually about 4, but they just gave you all variations of this. Obviously they have different weapons depending on what type of weapon arrangement you want for your guys. So again, great job Archvillain Games. Next up, we have the sister to Titanforge Miniatures, which is Cyberforge Miniatures. Now, they mentioned in this that after they had a lot of success with 5 Parsecs from Home, which is a miniatures agnostic game that they developed some miniatures for and have been releasing, they are actually pretty excited to do a collaboration with Fading Suns. And they're going to go back to 5 Parsecs from Home. They haven't completely done that, left that yet, but they have done some stuff here for Fading Suns. So again, you see we have 3 different aspects that Cyberforge likes to do. On the right, we kind of have like the fleets battle type games. On the left, we have kind of your war gaming, and in the middle, we have kind of your miniatures style games. So let's look at the Fading Suns, which is kind of, in my opinion, where all the hype is this month, since this is a new collaboration for them. You can see we have the characters up front, we have the generic rank and files in the back. So we have the Barbarian Queen, we have a Phoenix Knight, and we have Vorox over there on the right. 4 arms, twice the trouble, right? Then we have the auxiliaries, which not my term, it's theirs. All very similar uniforms, so good generic sci-fi characters. And then we have some camp cooks. One has the pot and one has what I guess is going in the pot. For the rank and file war skirmish games, we have the Sand Forged Order, which we have a vehicle, we have a big High Priest manipulator here, very interesting looking character. We have the DDR Doomworm, which seems to be some sort of armored personnel carrier. We have scouts, which come in multiple varieties with multiple different weapons layouts. And then we have the reinforcements for we have this hyperfleet. I'm not exactly sure what faction this is supposed to be, but you can print these off and you have what you need for that different type of game. As usual, Cyberforge likes to provide you with various types of terrain, so you can see tents, which can be pulled up here along with some barracks and some, I can't think of the proper term here, but basically some cover. And of course, as typical, we have lots of different types of bases that are going to come from them. OnePage Rules has a fantasy front and a sci-fi front, just like Titanforge versus Cyberforge, just like Archvillain. And so their release this month is centered around the High Elf fleets. Their big release for this month is the High Elf fleets High Elf Avatar, which has 2 different faces you can see in the graphic on the right. and we can see multiple people. Now I don't know the specific names for each of them, and many of these characters come in both a helmeted variety and a unhelmeted variety, as you can see over on the right. And you'll notice here, like, we can have them with a helmet. On the left, we have them with a helmet, and then we can have them without a helmet as well. So multiple ways to represent your characters, depending on how you want to paint them and how you feel like they should look. Again, we have them with a helmet and without a helmet. And as typical OnePage Rules variety, we have a range ruler, we have some objectives and some dice if you need to print those off, and we have bases that come in circles, ellipses, squares, and rectangles, all sorts of different things. The other thing a lot of people forget about with OnePage Rules is they do release a set of like Warfleet vehicles as well, very similar to what we just saw with Cyberforge. So here we have their GF Warfleet's progenitors, I believe is what these are referring to here. I don't know much about them, sadly. Now, one Patreon/tribes that I'm always interested in is Puppets War miniatures, and they are very secretive. It is very difficult to get copies of their images, but I went snooping around, and not to tell too much of my secrets, if you look on their Instagram, they will give you some previews. And it says in June you'll be getting a giant digger bug, you'll be getting some Inferno Strikers conversion sets, and you'll be getting the Orkperor of Orc Kind, which I believe is this guy right here. And if I'm doing wrong, Puppets War, I apologize, but I'm assuming that is the Orkperor of Orc Kind that they are planning on releasing this month. Next up, we have Station Forge, and Station Forge, I would not be a bit surprised if they have not finished releasing everything for the month of June. It is the 24th as I record this, but they release lots of stuff, and they're very good at releasing throughout the month. You get the entertainment value as the month goes on. You're not a one and done with them. And I actually admire that. I think it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment. Obviously, it's been a month since I've recorded a video and put it on here, so I understand that. But here we have the Zenered Tigorthan. We have the Scavenger Clankers. Kind of get an SCV vibe from StarCraft. We have the Zentari Cultist. The Grimdark Elites. Lots of different characters, lots of different poses. We have the Corrupted Gladiator. Just looking at the teeth and hair, I never actually 3D printed anything with resin, and I can only imagine all the little hanging pieces there, the level of detail you need to get this miniature to print correctly. Not complaining, just saying there's a lot of detail there. The Zenered Assassin. The Grimdark Frostwatch Officer. The Veskar Walker, as if we don't already have enough released this month. Not complaining, Station Forge, just saying. The Scavenger Sin Priest, excuse me. Wow, I cannot talk. And then we have the most recent release here is the Veskar Drop Pod, which we see here. Obviously can come in several different forms and shapes and ways and all of that. So anyway, that is the Sci-Fi review for June. I doubt I post again for June, but if I do, I'll let you know. Hopefully we'll do a July preview by the end of this week, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.